country.
BBC Radio Cambridgeshire.
So before the Christmas bells start jingling, new data reveals a festive feast transformation in beds, hearts and bucks. Now, usually the Christmas roast has been the star of the show, but this year, 24% of us are not having a traditional Christmas dinner. New data reveals a growing trend of people branching out and exploring different cuisines to add a modern twist to their festive feast. Now, here to tell us more about this is celebrity chef Malika Basu. She's a renowned food and drink industry commentator and a cookbook author, and she joins us now. Good evening, Malika. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good evening. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, you are a renowned food entrepreneur. Have you seen Christmas dinners, kind of the traditions evolving over the years? Have you seen this? Is this something that's a surprise to you?
Well, do you know what? I have seen the traditions evolve over the years, and there's a part of me that's not surprised at all. We live in multicultural Britain. People are more confident in their kitchens. You know, we love flavors from around the world. You only have to look at the love this nation has for curry. And we've embraced spices and seasonings in our cooking. And it was only going to be a matter of time before all these exciting flavors and tastes made their way into the biggest feast of the year, which is Christmas.
Yeah, and you know, being of a South Asian heritage background, this comes as no surprise to me at all, because we tend to have both. You know, we'll have all the trimmings on the side, the roast potatoes, but then Mum will always want to do a chicken biryani as well, and it's almost like you can't have Christmas without a chicken biryani on the side.
That's so true. And do you know what? Biryani is one of the answers I got from all my followers when I asked them, you know, what do you have to celebrate Christmas? Biryani is really popular. A curry often on Boxing Day. When you think about Boxing Day curry, it immediately transports me to Bridget Jones, right? The turkey curry.
Yes. Yes.
It's not unusual. People will ask me for a lovely lamb curry recipe. You know, seasonal root vegetables go incredibly well with coconut for this time of the year, and it's brilliant for sharing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and again, as you said, it just demonstrates also how increasingly confident folk are becoming in the kitchen as well. And they're travelling. You can get spices from everywhere now, just the variety of cookbooks, of TV programmes as well. So everyone really, wants to explore a little bit more, don't they?
They absolutely do. And also, can I just say, it is great for the environment and great for creativity. I mean, things hopefully start slowing down before Christmas. People have a bit more time. You know, friends and neighbours come together. You know, the community comes together. Family comes together. And why not put those half-used fusty jars of like spices and condiments, chili sauces that you've got collecting, you're collecting around the kitchen. Why not put them to use with the traditional dinner, what might have been a traditional dinner? Yeah. So I just think it's wonderful all round. The one exciting thing about this WISE research is that it found that 75% of people are still enjoying a traditional roast dinner, but they're also reporting an uptake in interesting spices and seasonings, world flavors. So not only are we trying something a little bit different, but also our cherished Christmas meal on the tables getting a little bit of a twist.
Yeah, and that's good to hear. Now, the same data also reveals that 13% of folk are actually sharing food with their local community as well, that's always so heartwarming to hear, isn't it? And this would be the sharing of cooked food as well. That always fills me with joy.
It was so lovely to see that, honestly, especially given the times we live in, people cooking for their community, people, in fact, reporting that they're inviting their friends and neighbors around the table. And I would say, since COVID happened, it's really brought people who live on streets together a bit more. Yeah. And we've clocked the power and the importance of our local communities. And I just think it's wonderful, and definitely in the spirit of Christmas. Christmas is one of those seasons and festivals that just transcends religion to some extent. And it symbolizes all this togetherness and feasting and fun, and I think it's wonderful to be able to share that with the community.
Do you know what, Malika, you're so right. It really does transcend all faiths and things, because everyone is together. and yeah, you're together, you're sharing food, etc. So that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. What are some of your favourite Christmas dishes to prepare and enjoy? What's Christmas like in your home?
So it's a bit of a game of two halves. I've had a sort of quite traditional family Christmas. I was married to a Christian man, so the kids, we did all the classic sort of going to the church for Christingle, and then a full Christmas meal, which I initially cooked, and then he took over so I could just have a nice glass of something to drink and enjoy playing with the kids. But now I'm divorced, so in fact, what I tend to do is assemble, my extended family, wave strays, friends who haven't been able to make it to their families, and we gather around, and I inject spices into absolutely everything, let me tell you, everything that I can, but it does tend to be a traditional, like a turkey, and then I will have sides around it that have got a hint of something different to them.
Oh, nice. It sounds amazing. I love how you say that you gather waifs as well, waifs and strays. And my mum does that as well. And I think that's wonderful. That to me is what Christmas is about. We tend to have two sittings. So there'll be like the afternoon thing where you've obviously got to watch the King's speech. Before it was obviously the Queen's speech. And then in the evening when she really will ask some of her friends over. And that's really lovely as well. Because you don't want anyone to feel left out either.
Absolutely. And by the way, I love the sound of your mum. She sounds amazing. But I do think Christmas is, we forget how lonely it can be, and it's cold and it can be quite awful for people. A lot of us have international lives. We have family overseas. I have family dotted around the world. And, if you can't be with them, it's incredibly difficult. And so, I've benefited in recent years from friends just bringing me in. One year I had COVID and my neighbors actually delivered food to my doorstep, which was very sweet of them. So I do think, again, bringing people round and embracing them into your family unit when they can't be with their own family is very much in the spirit of the time as well.
Yeah, and you know what, Malika, we've got to look after one another. You mentioned there about I guess, the thin lining of good, I guess, that came out of COVID was that communities just got together. You actually then knew who your neighbours were. I mean, you know who your neighbours are, but maybe that person who's living a couple of doors down, you now know each other. We may have formed WhatsApp groups as well. So there is that togetherness, isn't there?
Absolutely, and we're better for it. It's so easy in the sort of fast lives we lead, and everyone's sort of busy and getting on with their responsibilities. But to be able to just slow down, clock people who are around you, make sure they're okay, invite them in for an almighty feast. I think it's wonderful that we're now able to do that, and I hope that then becomes, going forward, a big annual Christmas tradition. Certainly sounds like it is. So,
for sure.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Lastly, Malika, what advice would you give to somebody maybe listening to this and maybe they want to experiment with something a little bit different, a little bit new this Christmas? What are some kind of like baby steps that they can do?
Well, for a start, I wouldn't do something completely untested from the top of your mind on Christmas Day. I think the Christmas meal is stressful enough to get on the table without taking some massive risks. So follow a recipe if you can. I've given Wise 5 new recipes that I created, which are sitting online, wise.com/festive flavors. I think if you do want to give your creative juices a little go and experiment, then try what you're going to do beforehand. Take your lead from ingredients you've used in the course of the year if you can. Look at what their traditional uses are, traditional ways in which spices, seasonings, sauces, condiments are used, and then extend that, but start from a place of knowledge. And of course, if things don't go well, it'll be fine because you'll have all your friends and lovely local community around anyway.
Exactly. Oh, Malika, thank you so much. Health and happiness to you. You take care.
And to you, all
Thank
my
you.
very best.
Thank you very much. Malika Basu there. I love that. I love that advice that she gave. Don't try anything brand new. Maybe just stick to the basics that you know. Follow a recipe. She's got 5 recipes online on her website, Malika Basu. That's MALLIKABASU. So you can find those recipes there, and you can follow her on social media as well.
Dottie McLeod, Dottie McLeod, Dottie McLeod, Dottie McLeod, Dottie McLeod, Dottie McLeod, Dottie